Hey guys, Mr. Passeri here, and I thought it would be helpful for us to go over our homework with an exciting homework review video for the YouTube channel and Google Classroom. Hopefully, you're all staying well and following our orders. So, stay inside as much as possible. If you do go outside, stay away from people, keep it 6 feet apart. Don't go to stores too often. Wash your hands a lot. Don't go to birthday parties or hang out with your friends or any of that other nonsense. So do that. Keep our city's numbers low and enjoy yourselves. Right? This is actually a pretty pleasant change of pace as long as everyone stays healthy. Right? You don't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to school. You can get up at a reasonable time and just chill in your home, keep on top of your schoolwork, watch some daytime television and YouTube videos, and enjoy your family as much as you can, right? So, our next homework assignment is going to be a little bit different than this one. We're actually going to be doing a time capsule survey for you to kind of record a little bit of information about yourself and your thoughts about what you've been going through, because this is a historically significant event. This is your 9/11, guys. So, this is going to be the thing in your life where your normal business has been seriously changed and the country has been profoundly impacted. So, we're not going to be doing textbook work this coming week. And then after we have that little bit of a break, we'll go back to our normal narrative timeline. So, without further ado, let's go over the answers to your homework. Homework has looked good thus far. A couple answers are wrong here and there in kids' assignments. I'm not really hammering you too hard. If your answers are overwhelmingly correct, you're going to get a very good grade. If you give me something that's half done, I can't give you a good grade because there's nothing to grade. So for the most part, you guys have been doing well. Keep that up. If you don't like your grade, correct what you have missed or not completed, and I will help your grade out a little bit. And if you want more information about a little bit, you can send me an email and we can discuss it. So let's get down to talking about our homework. How many delegates were called to Philadelphia to revise the Articles of Confederation? 55. Remember, guys, the Articles of Confederation, the legal order after the Revolutionary War, was considered to be ineffective by enough people so that the powers that be in the young United States and many of the common people as well wanted something more authoritative and stable that would ensure the United States survival on economic, political, and social levels. And that, my friends, that new set of rules is going to be called the Constitution. Number 2, who delivered the opening speech at the Constitutional Convention? Edmund Randolph. Why did many Americans call for the Articles of Confederation to be changed? They felt they were too weak to deal with the nation's problems. What is a depression? I am not looking for the emotional state of being, the psychological state of being. I'm looking for the economic definition, which is economic activity slows and unemployment rises. Number 5. Why did state officials begin to seize many of their farmers' lands? Farmers had difficulty paying war debts. Who was Daniel Shays? He was a former Continental Army captain that led Shays' Rebellion. Why did Shays lead more than 1,000 farmers toward the federal arsenal in Springfield, Massachusetts? He and his crew was in search of weapons and ammunition. What was the most common occupation of the 55 delegates who designed and debated the Constitution? They were lawyers. Why were many Americans frightened by Shays' Rebellion? Worried government could not control unrest or prevent violence. Number 10. What action was taken by 11 of the states between 1776 and 1786 with regards to slavery? The importation of slaves was outlawed or heavily taxed. So, importation of slaves, outlawed or heavily taxed in those 11 states. Who organized the first American anti-slavery society? That would be the Quakers. Why did free Americans form their own why did free African Americans form their own institutions? Because they were treated unfairly and could not vote. So they made their own institutions where they could feel more comfortable and respected. Define the term manumission. That would be the freeing of an individual enslaved person. Why do you think that the North and South differed in their attitudes about slavery? Well, guys, the long and short of it is the South's economy was built on slavery due to its highly fertile soil for cash crops. The North did not have an economic incentive to embrace slavery like the South did, or geographic incentive either. What two Americans were very active in the movement for change to the Articles of Confederation? James Madison and Alexander Hamilton. So those of you who like Hamilton can enjoy that little nugget. Who presided over the Constitution? George Washington. Define the term convention. That would be a meeting. How many delegates to the Constitutional Convention were under 30 years old? 3. How many of the delegates had college degrees? 26. What groups were not represented at the Constitutional Convention? Native Americans, African Americans, and women. What two Philadelphians played key roles at the Constitutional Convention? Governor George Morris and James Wilson. Who has been called the father of the Constitution? James Madison. Why weren't the sessions at the Constitutional Convention open to the public? So the delegates could talk freely. What was the Virginia Plan? A two-house legislature, an executive branch, and a judicial system. The legislature, you would have a lower house elected by people. Members of the upper house would be elected by the lower house. So the common person, your 21-year-old white landowning male, would vote for people in the lower house, and the people in the lower house would vote for people in the upper house. Both houses would have proportional representation for state representatives. That's the Virginia Plan. Your term proportional means corresponding in size. What was the New Jersey Plan? One house legislature, one vote for each state. Congress can enforce taxes. Congress elects a weak executive. So this does not go for proportional representation. Why? Because New Jersey is small. Virginia would want the proportional plan because Virginia is big and they would get more representatives in the Congress or legislative branches because of their larger population. Define the term amend. That would mean to improve. Who was the secretary at the Constitutional Convention? William Jackson. Who suggested the Great Compromise? Roger Sherman. What is a compromise? An agreement between two or more sides. Explain the 3/5 compromise. Slaves count as 3/5 of people for congressional representation. Who proposed a Bill of Rights to be included in the Constitution? George Mason. What 3 men refused to sign the Constitution on September 17th, 1787? That would be Elbridge Gerry, Edmund Randolph, and George Mason. So there you have it, gang. That is your homework review for convention and compromise. We had another YouTube video really fleshing out this content, giving a little bit of more historical depth on this. This video is more designed just to go over your homework. So stay inside. Oh, by the way, if you are all interested, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is now available for digital download. So stay in your house and watch movies like Sonic, because that movie is fantastic. So, until next time, guys, my name is Mr. Passeri. You take care, do your homework, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video and on Google Classroom. Bye bye.